In February 1991, a team of 14 cavers descended into Quov, pushing toward the furthest reaches of the cave. They had carefully prepared for days, rigging ropes and securing their safety lines in a grueling process that demanded perfection. But even with all their experience, the margins for error were razor thin. By March 1st, two members of the team, Peter Bosted and Peter Haberland, had made their way through the cave's complex passageways, battling exhaustion and tight spaces. Along with two others, they reached the East Gorge, where the final obstacle before Camp 2 lay. It was here that disaster would strike. The gorge required precise rigging to ensure the ropes didn't wear against the jagged rock, but even the best laid plans can go awry. Haberland descended first, careful in his every move, calling up to signal that the path was clear. It was then that the tragedy began. A rock, dislodged from above, clattered downward, followed by a heavy thud, and then silence. The rushing air signaled something terrible had happened. Bosted called out, no response. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end. As he scrambled down to the bottom of the gorge, he found his teammate, Jorger, sprawled motionless on the floor, his body contorted in unnatural angles, his foot pointed the wrong way, his helmet pushed back, his body limp and lifeless. Frantic, Haberland tried to reach him, but Jorger was unresponsive. He turned away, overcome with dread, and sprinted back to Camp 2, his breath shallow and heart pounding. Help had to come quickly. When Bosted and the others arrived, they found Jorger exactly as he had fallen. His body was cold, and blood trickled from his nose, a stark reminder of the fragility of life. They tried CPR, but it was useless. Jorger was gone, his life extinguished far too soon in the icy grip of the cave. Days passed before they could bury him, a heartbreaking decision made to lay him to rest in the very cave where he had fallen. His father, who flew down to Mexico to retrieve his son's body, found it nearly impossible to comprehend the reality of the loss. Months later, after much grief, a team of cavers returned to retrieve Jorger's body from the cave. The investigation revealed a chilling truth. Jorger's rappel rack, essential for his descent, had malfunctioned. The locking carabiner had come undone, sending him falling to his death. It was a flaw, a simple error that led to a catastrophic fall. The tragedy sparked an urgent review of safety protocols, but the damage was done. For Jorger's team and for his family, nothing would ever be the same. The cave, once a place of awe and discovery, had become a monument to their loss. And for all who dare to venture into such depths, the lesson remains. The margin for error is perilously small, and the cost of a single mistake is often far too high. In the quiet depths of these caves, where light never touches, lives are lost. Not to the cave itself, but to the fragile line between life and death that explorers walk with every step. Caving is not just about discovery. It's about knowing when to stop, when to acknowledge that the risks are too great. Both Jake and Jorger paid the ultimate price for ignoring that line. Their stories are a painful reminder of the fragility of life, the harshness of the unknown, and the irreversible consequences of failure in the face of nature's vast unyielding forces.